It's spring. Check out the flowers. So I'm trying to put some flowers on my patio, but I needed to get some Sorry, it's kind of loud. We're just in the middle of construction, but I want to show you how to do beautiful spring flowers in your quick tips. I'm going to do it fast. It's so fast, you won't believe it. Let's get started. So we are having some construction done in the house, so we're going to try to shoot this in between, but Cameraman will do his magic if it gets loud out there. These are so easy to do because you're working with quick tips, press-on tips, anything like that, full coverage tips, jelly tips. So we're going to pick out our favorite tips. I have actually done a few already that I've got that I can just put on. I'm going to adhere them with hybrid gel. Some people call it polygel, which is a brand. So it's actually called hybrid gel. Mine is called Easy Gel. And I call it easy because it's way easier than doing hard gel or acrylic. So what you want to do first is grab your tip. Okay, I'm going to grab my tip. Now the general idea is you want to get a bunch of little flowers, cut them up, and put them on the inside before you stick it on your nail. It's easier to do that way. You could put it on like this and put the flowers on top and then top coat it. You can feel it a little bit, but you could put 2 or 3 top coats and it might bury it. You might not be able to feel it. Or you could put it on the underside of the tip first, which is what I'm going to show you. So here's the thumb I've already done. It was so adorable. I actually did it for my YouTube shorts and TikTok and Instagram, and it was so cute. I thought, and some of you requested to see it in a full video, how you do the full thing. So that's what I'm going to do, but I'm going to do it in my coffin medium. So grab your tip. I've already picked this finger because I've already sized out these ones. So I'm going to just fit this one. So you want to do is make sure it's the right size for your finger. You can go a little bit bigger on a tip. That'll be here. And then this one, I've already pre-done it. We're going to put it on there so you can see where we're going. You can just smack them on. I was thinking the other day when I was doing these tips, this morning actually, you could actually prepare them before a client even arrives. Get all the design in there. Let's save you some time. Did you guys notice something in the background? That's my new adopted kitty. That's the foreman actually to this whole thing. Okay, so I'm going to lightly buff this nail, or all of them actually. I'm going to put them all on. Oh, I do want to brag. Look at this. Look how nice my nails look. After 35 years of wearing nails, with the exception I took them off for 8 months just to prove how healthy they would be or to learn. But look at them. They look fantastic. So I'm going to buff this up. There is a slight layer, very, very thin, of acrylic on there. I think it's acrylic that I last put on there. So all I'm doing is just buffing the entire nail. But this is such a thin layer. It's probably almost like as thin as a couple coats of nail polish, if that. This is how you prep the natural nail for your full covered tip. Okay. I'll do them all eventually, but I just want to do the one to get started. Let me just dust that off. And before you put your full cover tip, if you're using a hybrid gel, you want to put your bonding gel on. Now, my particular bonding gel is called Bridge, and the way you put it on, you don't want to oversaturate, but you sort of, massage it in, rub it in a little. Just don't paint it on like this. You want to make sure it gets in to all the little crevices and cracks. Just don't have your brush saturated so you don't oversaturate that little nail, okay? And then you're just going to nuke, in my little lamp in particular, for about 60 seconds. Okay, so that nail's all ready to go, but let's now prepare the tip. So I am going to grab my tweezers and I'm going to hold the tip with my tweezers. And I can hold them with my finger, but I really want to have as less touching room on that so I can cover pretty much most of the nail. So now I need a top coat. When you do this kind of thing, when you're inlaying design inside your full cover tip, you do it backwards or opposite than if you were building your nail from a form. So when you build from a form, you do your product, your prep, your bond, whatever. Then you do your product, and then you do your flowers, and then you do your top coat. So this way with the full cover tip, we're going to go backwards. We're going to have the full cover tip, and on the inside, we're going to have the top coat against it. Then we're going to have the flowers. Then we're going to have another top coat, and I'll tell you why. Then we're going to have the product, and that's going to be your nail. So we're sort of going backwards. Now, here's the trick to making this look flawless. So I'm just going to paint a thin layer, so not too thick. Just enough that you want the flowers to stick to and nestle into, okay? Also, here's another trick. Take a little tiny dollop of gel, put it on your dish. Grab a tiny brush like this. Have your flowers already cut up, and then you can use, oh, don't cure that top coat, by the way. Leave that top coat uncured because you want your flowers to stick to it. And then start putting your flowers on the inside. I'm going to use this beautiful bright fuchsia. And you're like, that doesn't look very bright. Flip it over. Look at that. Gorgeous, right? Just beautiful. So just nestle it in there. Let it stick to that tip. And then start laying all your other flowers in. Now I'm specifically doing this in a French formation. And what I mean is, if you flip it over, oh, this way, I'm going to do it in that French smile line, the row of flowers, you might say. Let's keep going and I'll show you. I'm just gonna add all the colors that I cut up. That's what I was saying about pre-doing this before your client even arrives. If you know what size of nail, a tip, that each client has, that the client that you're doing it for, then you can pre-do the whole design before they even arrive. And then when they arrive, you just prep the nail and then press them on. You can make the appointment a lot quicker. Now I have done this where I was wondering how thin I could go on the top coat, and I did this top coat super, super thin, and then it just made the tips of flowers, they just wouldn't stick to it. So you gotta have enough top coat on there that the flower just goes, just sticks right to it. So make sure you have enough, but not too thick, because it is, you don't want to get too bulky when you're trying to lay in the other stuff. And just go to town. Just keep adding to your little heart's content. And then flip it over and make sure that you've got that U shape that you're looking for, that French line, and make sure you filled it all in where you want it. I also double check and make sure that I'm using all the colors that I want, and not just like too much blue or too much yellow or too much red or whatever color you're putting in you don't want too much of. This would be really pretty too. That's the thing, when I started doing all these different colors, I think of all the different ideas, but this would be super pretty for a wedding. And if you just picked all maybe white flowers or soft pink flowers, maybe the flowers that they have in their wedding, that'd be so pretty. So obviously you could get really crazy. So just do the shape. The French shape is what I'm doing. You could cover the whole nail, of course. You could do in a chevron shape. You could do whatever you want. I'm going to move it up a bit because I want to be quite a strong smile line. I think one of those I didn't do it as strong. So just fill in all the little spaces. That's pretty cute. Okay, so I can see that when I flip it over, I can see you can see it right on the camera there. See those little empty spots? That's not gonna do. So I'm just gonna fill this in. Yeah, there's not too many areas there now. It's filling right up. Anything sticks over, doesn't matter. You can file that off. Okay, and now you just want to cure it, and you can just pop it in. You can just leave it. That's the beauty of it. This is what I mean about doing it ahead of time. Think of the possibilities. I was thinking like I have black, I have white and pink inside this Easy Gel. And I'm going to do it with white today, but I was thinking as a matter of fact, I will do the thumb in the black and the pink so you can see that too. I'm going to do this whole hand though in white. Okay, so that's nice and cooked. So here's the trick, what I learned. It's optional. I then was thinking I could just put my Easy Gel, whatever you're adhering with, on the underside or on my nail and squish it on, good to go. But these flowers are not laying down perfectly flat. They're not really sealed in there. They're stuck to the tip, But once I put the Easy Gel or whatever product you're going to put in, it's going to swim in between all the little cracks and crevices, and it makes it look like the flowers, they're not crisped around the edge like this is, right? See how nice and crisp and you can see each and every flower. But if you just put the product in now without doing this little trick, it's going to turn it into sort of a milk bath where they're going to be in and amongst the product. It's going to disappear. Some of the flowers are going to disappear. So here's my trick. And this is just what I figured out on my own. This just works for me and I'm just sharing it with you. I hope it works for you. But I painted another layer of top coat to seal those flowers completely. So no product that I'm using will settle in between now and ruin the solidness looking of your flower. So I don't lose those crisp edges. So it's a little thicker here because this is the free edge. I don't want to get too thick in the body of the nail because that's where I'm going to need the product for that, apex and building the nail to stick to my finger. Okay. So I will paint over the whole thing just to get a nice smooth line and then paint this edge here. Okay. So all I'll do now is cure it up. And then we'll do the color. Okay, now that it's all cured, that one's ready. Actually, they're all ready to go now. So I've got all my nails ready to go. Nice. Okay, so now I'm going to adhere them and I'm going to use my French and ombre white. I put my Easy Gel in jars because I felt they were easy to get and they're easier to get the last little bits out too out of that jar. Okay, so this is two choices. You can put it on here first. Maybe I'll do that. I'm going to put it on here. Now you have two choices too, to take this white right to the end or whatever color you're using right to the end, or just let it fill in the way it wants. Just do it partially. And with my Easy Gel, you can just use alcohol to move it around and manipulate it where you want it to go. But I am, like I say, going to take it all the way to the end because I do like the look of the Easy Gel all the way to the end, the white, so I can see the flowers pop a little bit more. But you can do the fade or whatever you want. It's totally your call. So I'm going to just put a little in there just to give that color so the flowers pop. And that's the beauty of these full cover tips. Just take a look on the other side. When you're working with hybrid gel, it's not curing on you. So you can take your time and do exactly the design that you're looking for. I can't wait to see this in the black. Okay, look on the other side. It's so adorable. I do love it. Okay, now make sure there's enough product in there. Yep, that's all looking pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and place it on. This is a chance where you can make sure that it's not crooked. There we go. Make sure that's nice and straight. Just sort of look at it at all sorts of angles and line it up for yourself. So just make sure it's nice and straight. Remember, it's Easy Gel, so you have all the time in the world to check it and make sure that you're happy. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and cure it, and I'm going to apply the rest, as long as the construction doesn't interfere with us. Okay, so once you have fully cured, what I like to do, and you don't have to do that, it's totally optional, and they're going to fit everybody a little bit different. It's like a shoe. It's pre-made, and you're fitting the tip on to fit the best you can. It's not going to be custom, but it's going to be as close as you can get it. So one thing I will do, I like to call this cuticle separation. One thing that makes these things, or any nail, if you have too much of the nail going into the cuticle, that they're the same level, that's when they can be looking kind of fake. So if you have a nice cuticle separation, all you got to do is go around the cuticle and just make sure that they are not at the same level. You want to bring the fake stuff, this is the cuticle, you want to bring the fake stuff down just a little bit toward the cuticle. It just looks so much more natural. So I will do this on each and every finger. Okay, and then I will take a smoothing file, like a spongy one. So this is like an 80/80, but it's so bendy that it goes over top of the whole nail. So I'm not reshaping them. I am simply roughing the surface, but it's still a very smooth surface. And I'm only doing that so the gel coat will stick to it really good. And then I'll take my fine file and I will just make sure that no flowers are sticking up on the edges. And make sure that tip is nice and smooth and square or even on the end, whatever shape you got going. And I'll do that on every single one. And then I will top coat. That's the fun part. Okay, so I'm just going to get rid of all that dust. Gel of any kind hates dust. So just get rid of it all. Get right into those little cuticles because you were just doing that cuticle separation and dust can really settle in there. Okay. Oh my goodness, they are so adorable. Okay, I'm gonna get this giant tube and put my hand on it. Okay, and you just put your top coat on. Oh man, these are adorable. Oh, so cute. I gotta be honest with you, I'm not hating the matte kind of look. Look at that index. That's a matte look to it. I'm not hating that. It's actually quite cute too. So pretty. Okay, let's nuke them and then admire them. Honestly, so adorable. Check them out in black and pink. Like I said, the color combinations you could make could be endless. I also have a video where I mixed my black midnight with my white ombre and French easy gel, this stuff, and it made a beautiful gray. You know, I did it in a reverse French. Check it out.